from Intentional Spark. We've been talking to clients about their paid marketing and their overall marketing strategy over the last few weeks. And we just sent out this paid marketing report to our clients at the beginning of the week and thought it might be helpful for other business owners and businesses running their own marketing, running their own ad campaigns, specifically digital ad campaigns. During this presentation, it's about 10, 15 minutes long. We're going to talk about, what we're seeing happening right now, what we expect might happen over the next, medium term and long term here, not with any actual like policy positions or anything else, but just on the marketing side, what we might expect and how we can all best deal with this. So this is, as of this week, the week of March 16th, 2020, this is our current view. Things are changing fast. We're getting more data every day. But this will hopefully help everybody kind of get on the same page. Would love if you're watching this, on YouTube, Facebook, IGTV, wherever you're seeing this. Would love for you to comment where you can. Tell us what you're seeing, what questions you have. We're going to try and, help everybody out and share as much information as we can so that we can all, do the best during these times. So let's dive in. So general disclaimer, not a doctor or healthcare professional. Don't take any healthcare advice from me. I'm not an economist or financial advisor. I'm going to talk about the economy a little bit, but just how people are going to react to some of the economic news. But I'm not an economist or financial advisor. All opinions are my own and based on the best knowledge I have at this current time. And who am I? Tony Rulli from Intentional Spark. I co-founded Intentional Spark with my wife, Meg, and it's a digital marketing agency specializing in Facebook and Instagram ads, but we do work with all ad platforms. We work in a lot of different industries, e-com, software, a lot of digital content creators, course creators, coaches. So we see a lot of different markets, and we'll talk about that a little bit today and what we're seeing in the different markets. So let me dive in. And again, if you have questions or comments, please share. We're trying to get back to everybody and answer. So the immediate focus first, everybody's health, you, your family, and your community. If you're running a business, it's always a concern. But right now, everyone's just trying to be safe and figure out what the best thing to do is. This is complicated because a lot of people, if you haven't already, a lot of people are being told or forced to work from home. And that's complicated with school closings, figuring out childcare. Maybe you're not used to work from home and now your kids are home too. And then with all the news happening, and the economy and stock market having news every day there too, there's a lot of distractions. And so, let's just take care of ourselves and take care of each other first and foremost. But a lot of you are running businesses and are still very focused on that, understandably. And so that's what we're going to dive into for the majority of this discussion. So what to expect with paid marketing? We'll talk short-term, medium-term, and long-term. And these views will change as the situation changes, and we'll try to update everyone as best as possible. Short-term ad performance, our recommendations, monitor your campaigns closely. You should already be doing this anyways, but right now you want to be really going through all your data with a fine-tooth comb. That means looking at changes from day to day, 3 days to previous 3 days, last week to this week, link click-through rate, conversion to lead, conversion to sale. Be monitoring your entire sales funnel to see if conversion rates are changing anywhere. Adjust your spend where needed if things are dramatically changing performance-wise, but don't overreact right now to performance changes unless you have some overarching reason to do so. We've seen a lot of campaigns have volatility, even though their average might be close to normal, last 2 weeks versus 2 weeks prior. But like if you look day to day, wild swings based on what's happening in the news and honestly the Facebook algorithm trying to figure out with all these new people home what's happening. So watch for trends overall. We are seeing actually I wouldn't say suspend all campaigns or stop selling just in general, because we've seen some clients who have products that are really helpful right now for people, whether it helps them work from home or be more organized, or even coaches who help people kind of prioritize and figure out how to focus. They're seeing an uptick in sales because they're more needed than ever. So, no recommendation is for everybody. So watch your own data closely. And it's too soon to tell what the new normal is going to be here over the medium and long term. And so we can't give full recommendations, but we do have a few data points. So what we're seeing is people are distracted, like I talked about, updates on the spread of the illness, concern about the economy and decline in the stock market, people work from home, Kids are home now, so like what we're doing, we always really tell our ad managers we don't care if kids are on calls, and so that's doubly so now. A lot of our clients, their kids are joining calls. We're canceling calls, pushing calls out if a client needs that. Something I think everybody needs to do is just be patient with each other and understand we're all doing the best. But that's happening for you and your business, and it's also happening to your audience. So we need to start thinking about how to address that. And what all this means on the ad side is people are spending more time online, browsing the internet and social media, no boss over their shoulder, more time at home. Maybe their company actually blocks certain websites like social media, and so now they can actually go on. So the short term, that means more eyeballs, more ad inventory. More ad inventory means cheaper CPMs, which will result, if all things are equal, in some cheaper costs like lead costs. Also, some larger brands are potentially slowing their ad spend right now, trying to figure out what to do. So that's less competition in the marketplace. So this was our hypothesis before we started to see it over the last 2 weeks, and now we're actually seeing it come to pass. Cheaper CPMs because of more ad inventory and potentially less competition. We're seeing the same or higher click-through rates because people are home, they're looking for content. And we are starting to see either the same lead costs or cheaper lead costs. And it's too early to tell how this will affect conversion rate to sales. Like I said, this has actually been really dependent so far on what your offer is and who your audience is. Some people are seeing, big growth in their business right now just because they're providing a service or an offer that is really needed. Other people, maybe, their marketing and their positioning isn't quite a fit and people aren't feeling it's necessary and they're seeing a drop. Haven't really seen the overall trend hit yet, but my expectation would be, and we'll get to this in the medium and long term, we're all going to have to slightly change our sales offers and positioning as, the economy heads to a downturn potentially, and people are, head more into the long-term phase of this. But let's go to the medium term. People will adjust to working from home as best they can. And what that means is distractions will be welcome. I'm already seeing that a little bit. Some people think it's too soon to still be promoting things like normal, but other people seem to be happy for the distraction. So, your own audience, judge your own audience as best you can, but give them that distraction. You don't have to avoid talking about what's happening, but people are going to be looking for non-pandemic related content too. So don't be afraid to do that. And, over the medium term here, people are going to be going out in public less. So, those cheaper CPMs might persist with more people online. So once we get through this initial short-term phase where there's a lot of confusion and, state in the US, at least state by state notices of closings and what's happening, there's going to be a new normal. We don't know what that is yet, but when we hit that new normal, we'll see less volatility most likely in the ad performance and in your funnel performance. So it's important to kind of gauge what your normal was before, I'd say March, February, and then so you can measure what it will be once we hit this new normal. But be providing people with engaging content as they're going to be hungry for distractions. It can be related to your business, or if it's not perfectly related to your business, have it be very helpful for your own audience. We have some examples actually we'll show in a little bit of people doing really great things already where it doesn't feel opportunistic. It's helpful for an audience, but it does get their brand out there. Digital products might be less affected. People are going to be at home with time on their hands, potentially wanting to learn new skills. So there is an opportunity there. We'll have to see how that plays out. And lower CPMs, lower lead costs, like I said. But in the medium term, and even now, you should be thinking about changing your messaging, both at the top of funnel, as far as how you talk about what you're offering and your audience and where they are. And also, maybe down the funnel in some of your emails, you might want to think about changing how you're messaging your sales emails. But again, that's more in the medium term. Long term, we don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic, but we already see the economy and the stock market heading down. People are already losing their jobs, whether it's temporary or might be a longer term effect, we don't know. But in an economic downturn, people are going to be a little less willing to buy, tighter with expenses. Business owners might be struggling in their own business. So we all need to prepare for that as business owners and think about how we can adjust as this continues. Again, just like in the short and medium term, don't ignore what your audience and customers are experiencing. Address it. Don't be spammy about it. Don't be opportunistic. But we're all people going through this together. A little humanity can go a long way. So if your audience is struggling and you have solutions that can help them, you can definitely talk about that. So adjust your messaging accordingly. Some examples here. If you can help customers generate more sales, that's going to be more needed than ever. If you help people deal with stress or mindset, people will still need you. If you offer tools or advice about working from home or being organized when you're working virtually, I mean, everyone's working from home right now. I'm already seeing that shift happen. And I would say every business can think about how they could position this themselves. It might be a shift just in messaging, or it might be a product shift. Maybe long term, you have to slightly shift or change the products you're offering or how you position them to people. So overall, current view, do not market as if nothing's happening in the world. Be authentic. You shouldn't just be kind of plugging your ears and have all your outward facing messaging say the same as normal, especially if you're watching your performance dip. Right now with clients, we're kind of managing them. So we have a lot of the previous ads still on if they're performing well. But if we're seeing declines, we're shutting them off and relaunching with some ad copy and creative that is a little bit more of the times. Being authentic is important. Depending on your audience and offers, adjust your message. I don't know specifically what your business is or who your audience is, but some of you might have an audience that is in desperate need of what you offer right now. If they don't, you can still talk to them and meet them where they are. These could be through Facebook Lives, email, and be sensitive about the messaging, as you never want to be or be seen as opportunistic. For those that can afford it, right now and into the medium term at least, list building and brand awareness are a great focus. With the cheaper CPMs and the cheaper lead costs we're starting to see, this could be a time, if you have the cash flow, to grow your list, really engage with your audience, and get them to really trust and hear from you, so that when the time comes, you can then start selling and growing your business again. But listen to your audience, see what they want and need in the medium to long term. Are there existing products that you haven't promoted as heavily that maybe are going to be more needed now and more desired? Could you update any existing products either with your messaging or with tweaks to the product to better fit where people are and what they need? And maybe there are new products. If you're talking to your customers, if you're talking to your audience, maybe you see solutions they need and you can make those new products. And again, that's longer term. We're not making new products today, but it's something to start thinking about. So quickly here, some cool examples of companies and people just shifting their marketing already. Some of these aren't even examples of companies that are trying to promote anything, but I just wanted to show what you can already be thinking about, and hopefully this gives inspiration. So Ruth and Nicole from Whiteboard Consult, they work with businesses to help them find ways to grow. They're consultants. And they deal with businesses that are probably now maybe not used to working from home. And so if you look, a lot of their posts lately have just been, they're still promoting articles that they've written about how to work from home, but they're talking directly to it because they know where their customer is. Their customer is working from home, maybe unsure of how to do this best. And so they have multiple posts talking about it, but it perfectly fits their business. So it makes total sense. Some of their businesses have events and they talk about, how do you do in-person training during this time? You can't. So how do you do it virtually? That makes perfect sense for their business. Something a little more fun, but that maybe you could think about, how could you add some fun into your business during this time to help people, is the San Francisco Cooking School. Obviously, it's probably shut down. You can't go, to cooking class. But what they're doing to interact with people still is they're putting out posts saying, stuck at home and not sure what to cook, because, everyone's buying extra supplies. Maybe you have a lot more time at home to cook. Tell us what's in your kitchen and we can help. And they're actually having chefs respond to what people say is in their kitchen and giving them instructions. Fun idea. Maybe you could do that if you offer business coaching, other ideas that could help. You could think through that. How could you just add value right now? And here's one where, not a company, Josh Gad, he's in Frozen. For those of you that have kids, you definitely know who he is. He plays Olaf the snowman. But what he's been doing, and I think Anna Kendrick started doing this too. They know a lot of kids are home right now. A lot of kids know them from these kids' movies. And so they've been reading books, like children's books at night, posting them online so parents can kind of, let their kids watch and be entertained. So if you have an audience of parents or maybe an audience that's younger, what kind of content could you give them now that's helpful, engaging? It doesn't even have to be something where they're opting in, but you're adding value. And it can, it doesn't have to be about growing the business directly, but it's about growing your brand. How could we be doing more of this is something to start thinking about. So next steps, and for our own clients, we're doing this for them, but you can do this yourself. If you're not running paid marketing right now, you can still be doing this on all of your funnels. But review your accounts for both short, medium, and long-term adjustments. What do you need to tweak right now today based on the data you're seeing? And then how might you react in the future? If the economy continues to head downwards, if people are still at home in a month or two, what can you be doing to change your marketing, change your message, and still reach people? And then listen closely to your audience and engage with them on social media and whatever platforms you're on, YouTube, LinkedIn. Talk to people, hear where they are, and use that information to adjust your business. And be patient with each other. Be patient with your audience, your customers, your team members. Everyone is distracted and doing the best they can. So I think that's going to be the overriding message for the next few months at least. Final thoughts: health first, physical, mental, emotional. This is not only, you might be scared about, the flu itself, about COVID-19, but you also might, have mental stress, emotionally run ragged with everything going on. Take care of yourself first. We're here to help you with your business. If you have questions about your marketing or, what we're seeing, feel free to always email me at tonyr@intentionalspark.com. You can email me with questions you have. I'll answer as fast as I can. We're in this together. We really want to help. But comment. Email me if you want, but comment, share what you're seeing. We can kind of combine all this together, and I'll share it in my next report. And lastly, final thoughts. Here's our director of marketing, Noodles. He just wanted to say hi, put a smile on your face, and let you know he's still taking calls and ready to help. So comment, email me, share, tell me what you're seeing, and we'll keep you updated.